You guys have spent the whole day together, huh? I'm on too. I don't know if it's. Oh, here we are. There are 5 people, but 2 of them are there are 2 that are us. So, well, we're unfortunately 2 of those 6 who are watching. So, so we do not. I'm good. That is true. All right, so hopefully we'll increase in numbers. So good evening, everybody. And we see we are building, but not quite yet there for a Minyan. We'll then just begin. I have to turn this off. Okay, so what we will do in lieu of a Minyan is, oh, come on, a few more eyes. All right, so what we will do is we will daven mincha, but we'll do it without a Minyan. So we'll begin with on Ashrei, page 120. Ashrei Yoshrei V'techa, Yelucha Sela, Ashrei Am Shemel. Kavod Malchut. Tzadik Adonai v'chol drachav v'chasi v'chol ma'asav. Tehilat Adonai Darber Pi v'Yavarech Kol B'Sar Shem Kedusho Le'Olam Va'ed V'Anachnu Nivarech Ya Mi'atav Yad Olam. Hallelujah. Again, we're not. Mel says, I will get a Minyan. So, Mel, is that assuming now? Please put in the text box if there are multiple people with you. Actually, if everyone could share how many people are with you. We need a few more. Mel, Mel has 3, so we still need 2 more people. All right, just put your wives on the line. We're having folks call their spouses who are here. Oh, we're losing people online. I just got back from the Dodger game, but I would call it the Met game, and the Mets won. My son, who's 11, is in my office, but he doesn't count to a Minyan, and he's playing video games. Okay, good. We have 10 online. Okay, I don't see 10 online, but we see 5 online. But we'll take your word for it. Yit kedal v'ikadat shemei rabba bi'alma divrak yirtei v'yamlich machutei b'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayetechol beit Yisrael b'galav b'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabba v'rach le'olam omeil maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yir'omam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitala shemei d'kusha b'richu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbirchata v'nechemata damiram bi'alma v'imru amen. We'll begin the Mincha Amidah together on page 122b, page 122b. My apologies for that sound. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Yagiti Hilatecha Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol v'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goel Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer Fokedu Moshiach Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Ufokei Tzara אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים את הרב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. The Kedusha is on the next page. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאו, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, דברי קודשך כתוב לאמור. ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. צדיקים חסידים. When you've completed your Amidah, we can continue with Tachanun, which begins on page 132. The top of page 133. Shomer, Shomer Yisrael, Shemor Sherit Yisrael. Shomer, Shomer Yisrael, Shemor Sherit Yisrael. V'al Yovad, V'al Yovad Yisrael, V'al Yovad, V'al Yovad Yisrael. Omrim, HaOmrim, HaOmrim Shema Yisrael, Shomer Shomer Goy Echad, Shemor Sherit Am Echad, Shomer Shomer Goy Echad, Shemor Sherit Am Echad, V'al Yovad, V'al Yovad Goy Echad, V'al Yovad, V'al Yovad Goy Echad Am Yachadim, Shimcha Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, Shomer Shomer Goy Kadosh, Shemor Sherit Am Kadosh, Shomer Shomer Goy Kadosh, Shemor Sherit Am Kadosh, V'al Yovad, V'al Yovad Goy Kadosh, V'al Yovad, V'al Yovad Goy Kadosh Am Shalshim, B'shalosh, Kedusha leKadosh. Avinu Malkeinu Chanenu. Ki in banu ma'asim aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'shin. Ozrinu yishenu al davar kavod shemecha v'atzilinu v'chaper achatotinu leman shemecha. Kari Shalom, page 134. Yit Gedal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah b'yalma divra kirutei v'yamlech machutei b'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayidechol beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah v'rach le'lam omel maya Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Titzkabal tzloton V'oton Techol Yisrael Kadam Avon Divishmaya Vimru Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael Vimru Amen. Osei Shalom B'Ramav Hu Ya'asei Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael Vimru Amen. Please rise if you're able to for Aleinu, page 135. Page 135. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit. Shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Kakatuv b'toratecha d'nayim loch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Tonight we mark we're finishing up the 14th of Elul, and so on the 14th of Elul, we as a community observe the yurtzites of Deborah Fein Agam, Dina Davidowitz, Mina Grud, Florence Levine, Sydney Moskovitz, Elizabeth Neal Simmons, Werner Richter, Dora Schneiderman, Abraham Israel Sherman, Adelaide Suplin, and Ruth G. Tenenblatt. If you are either observing a yurtzeit or mourning someone who I did not mention, you can feel free to add their name to the chat as we continue. Do you want to say you're saying Kaddish now? Okay. And you gentlemen are like 30 feet away, so I'm going to just, okay? Are you that's okay? Yeah. Kaddish Yatom is on page 136. Page 136. Yikadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah b'yalma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon u'v'yameachon u'b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. And may the memories of our loved ones be a source of comfort and goodness and blessing. We're going to have a moment to create a break between Mincha, the conclusion of the 14th day of Elul, and the beginning of Mariv, which will mark the 15th of Elul. And so I can tell you how I spent my day, which is watching the New York Mets defeat your hometown Los Angeles Dodgers. It kind of was ugly from the beginning, Dennis Funk. I'm just going to be honest from you. My son, and we're considering, anyone who wants to take an extra kid, all three of them, one of them by the end was rooting with the Mets because the 8-year-old, he was the only person in the stadium wearing a Corey Bellinger jersey rooting for the Mets. It was a little weird, but, so he can come home and have dinner tonight. The other two, they're available. So if you want, I could only brainwash one. You know what they call that in baseball? 1 out of 3, Hall of Fame. So I'll take that. So I do feel badly for the Dodgers, although for the Mets it was a 2-5 road trip. So, and they're like 9 games out of first place. So anyway, I think Mookie Betts didn't play, so it was kind of a concession from the beginning. Yeah. Anyway, we probably should have marked this by saying Torah, but instead we'll talk baseball. And so let's put in the chat any comments that you have about today's game. Let's see if anyone has anything that they would like to add in the chat. Mel Aronoff, I'm sorry that your team was subpar this afternoon. And Judy, I apologize. Not really. But anyway, I turned my Facebook off, so I don't even know if it's on anymore. Okay. So the Talmudic sages would be approving. I'm going to take this off. The Talis from Mariv. And we're going to now continue with Mariv, and Mariv can be found beginning on page 137. Pardon the sound this is going to make. So, we got to figure that out. That's right. I mean, it's just like the worst sound ever. Okay. Page 137. V'hu rachum yechaper avon v'lo yashchit v'hir bala shiva po v'lo yirkol chamato Adonai Hoshea melchinenu v'yom korenu baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. We can all be seated for the first bracha before the Shema. El chai v'kayam tamidim lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai hamari v'aravim avat olam b'it Yisrael chav tatorah mitzvah. Ki hem chayinu v'yorach yaminu v'hem negel yomam v'layla v'yavatcha al tasim yaminu le'olamim baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. The Shema, page 138. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And together at home, the V'afta et Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levavcha, U'chol nafshecha, U'chol meodecha, V'hayu hadvarim ha'ela, Asher Anochi mitzavecha, Hayom alevavecha, V'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochpecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshotam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotofot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. We'll continue silently through the top half of page 139. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe. Mantis Keroves. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Emet V'Umunah, page 139 in the middle. Emet V'Umunah, Kol Zov V'Kayem Aleinu Ki Yod. U'malchuto b'ratzon kiblu alehem, Moshe u'vnei Yisrael, dechanu shira b'simcha rabah, v'yamru chulam, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef fele, malchutcha ra'u v'anecha bokeh yam lifnei Moshe, ze'eli anu v'yamru, Adonai imloch le'olam v'ad, v'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'galo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. The Hashkivenu, our evening prayer for peace, page 140. Let's read it together in the English. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Praise you, Adonai, eternal guardian of your people, Israel. Ushmor tzeitinu v'yinu l'chaim l'shalom yata v'yad olam. Baruch atah Adonai, shomer amo Yisrael le'ad. And we're going to skip forward to page 141 at the bottom half of the page. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabba, v'yalmad yivrak yirtei v'yamlech malchutei, v'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayir l'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman karim v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba v'rach le'olam ome'al ma'iyah, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalah shemei d'kudusha b'riachu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram b'yalma, v'imru amen. The evening Amidah is recited silently, and it begins on page 142b. Kaddish Shalem is on page 149. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabba, v'yalmad yivrak yirtei v'yamlech malchutei, v'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayet l'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman karev v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba v'rach le'olam ome'el ma'iyah, v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei d'kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Kabal tzloton uvoton dechol Yisrael kadam avuhon divishmaya v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shamaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amin. Osei Shalom B'imro Mav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amin. We continue with Aleinu on page 150. Aleinu L'shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Atet Kedula L'Yotzer Bereshit, Shelo Asanu K'goyei Haratzot, V'lo Samanu K'mishpachot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chalkenu Kahem, V'goralenu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim V'yosed Haaretz, U'Moshe V'yikaro B'Shamayim Ima'al, U'Shchinatu Zo, V'Gavei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkinu Efesulato, Kakatuv B'Torato, V'Yadata Yom V'Hashivota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hua Elohim, B'Shamayim Ima'al, V'Al Haaretz, Mitachat Einod, Okay, Kakatuv b'Toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, le'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. And as it is the season of Elul, we turn to recognize the month before the high holidays. We turn to the 27th Psalm, which can be found on page 92. Page 92. The David Adonai Ori V'yishimimi Rahat. Lulei hamanti li'orot b'tuv Adonai be'eretz chaim, kaveh el Adonai, chazak v'yametz libecha v'kaveh el Adonai. And before we conclude with Mourner's Kaddish, today, which now will be marking the beginning of the 15th of the month of Elul, we observe the yurtzites of Sophie Bialik, Ben Eisenberg, Minnie Grotsky, Ethel Harris, Esther Melnick, Annie Miller, Stephen Newman, Gladys Robbins, Jean Simon, Molly Spector, and Bernie Wise. If there's anyone else who's observing a yurtzeit for the 15th of Elul, please feel free to add that person's name into the chat. Anyone? 15th of Elul? Okay. And so now we'll ask everyone who's, all those who are in mourning or observing a yurtzeit to please join me as we sanctify God's name with the words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 151. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba bi'alma divra kirutev yamlich malchuteh b'chayachon u'v'yomeyachon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam omei omaya Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram b'alma v'imru amen Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Osei shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru. Amen. And we want to wish everyone a good evening. Stay safe. And tomorrow morning, Minyan is at 7:30. And we hope everyone's doing well. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Baruch Tia. Good to see both of you. Nice to meet you as well.